Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about our match review.
So you picked two Royal Rumbles, from 2020.
Yep. I'll go over the men's if you want to go over the women's.
Okay. So the women's Royal Rumble was won by Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And it came down to her and Shayna Baszler. Now, at this time, Shayna Baszler was still in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just unstoppable. This was when it was just insane. You know?
Shayna Baszler was her back then. I remember watching her in NXT.
She was
crazy.
Unstoppable. And I never understood why they didn't push her more.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had the match against... Because this was when... So, we'll get to Charlotte Flair in a second. But Shayna Baszler ended up going to that Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
And the winner went on to face Becky Lynch for the title at that year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler pretty much eliminated everybody. And then ended up losing to Becky Lynch at Mania.
I feel like that would have been the perfect opportunity for Shayna.
Because she was so hot right then.
Yeah.
Like everybody was a huge fan of her because she was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And you could tell. But I really think they should have had Shayna Baszler win that match. I think that was most of the time. I feel like if you look back at things. WWE, I feel like, makes the right decisions when it comes to winning and losing.
Yeah.
I think in the long run. So there are some times where I think they do make the wrong decision. I think that was the time they made the wrong decision.
Yeah, there's plenty of times we could think of where maybe it wasn't the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, I personally don't think Brock Lesnar should have won the Defeat the Streak match.
The Streak, absolutely.
I feel like Roman Reigns should have been that guy.
Should have been Roman Reigns. They
because
waited.
If it was Roman Reigns that did it, I feel like people would like Roman a little more whenever they tried to shove it into people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
So, and speaking of Roman Reigns, Men's Royal Rumble absolutely booed. He just got booed like crazy.
Nobody wanted Roman.
Nobody likes Roman.
Nobody likes
But
Roman.
we love him now. Which, heel turn was the best move I've ever thought of.
Tribal Chief.
He is the Tribal Chief.
Tribal Chief.
Is that it for women's for you?
I mean, yeah, Charlotte Flair picked up the W and went on to WrestleMania.
Yep.
I mean, it was a huge win. I think it was one of those where they just wanted to go ahead and give Charlotte Flair that accolade.
Yeah.
Because it was like, all right, well, we don't want to wait too long to where we kind of box ourselves in a corner where we can't give her this because we have other people who we feel like need it more. Where they felt like, all right, now's the time. Let's just go ahead and give it to her.
Yeah.
So we can say she has won a Royal Rumble.
My thought process was like, I didn't think she needed it, to be honest with you.
No,
I felt like
she's already a 15-time champion.
I felt like Shayna Baszler could have used it.
Yeah,
like maybe it could have changed her.
Now they still made her look real dominant in that Elimination Chamber match. If you go back and watch that.
Yeah, but I feel like it would have made more of a pop if she.
Yeah, especially at the time she was like was she still in NXT at that point?
She would have been like the first NXT superstar for the women's to win the Rumble. Which would have changed her whole career. Mm-hmm. Maybe they just didn't think she was the right one. I don't know.
It is what it is.
Now the men's Royal Rumble, on the other hand, probably one of my favorite Rumbles of all time. It was
crazy, and it has one of possibly the greatest returns of all time.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. First of all, beginning of the match, Brock Lesnar absolutely dominated. Yeah. Eliminated names like Elias, Eric Rowan, Robert Roode, John Morrison, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Big E.
What?
Cesaro.
What?
And with Shelton Benjamin, he also got eliminated, which was pretty funny because they were both acting like friends and stuff. And Brock Lesnar just
because they went to college together. They were at the same college. Like they're really good old best friends.
And they both like shook hands. Were getting ready for the next person to join, and then Brock just throws him out. Then we got Shinsuke, which this is by the time the 10th elimination, Brock is just still standing in the ring by himself. We got MVP with his return.
MVP, yeah.
That was his return, and then he got out. Keith Lee, first Rumble, takes the fight to Brock.
Coming from NXT. He was at NXT at the time.
Yeah. And I just want to say, this dude was as big as Brock.
Yeah, and you saw Brock be like, big boy.
Yeah, Brock was actually a little shocked.
Like, okay, here we go.
And then Braun Strowman enters. All three of those guys are in the ring.
3 huge, meaty boys.
And then the downfall of Braun Strowman and Keith Lee was that they both went after each other, not focusing on the main target. Brock Lesnar eliminates both of them at the same time. Then Ricochet joins. Mm-hmm. This is the guy that changed the show.
Human highlight reel. Because at the time, weren't him and Brock kind of in a program together? They were a little bit of a rivalry.
Brock absolutely beat
him up
before the show.
Yeah.
At Raw or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Ricochet is the guy that changed the tides because Ricochet was in there. Brock is really tired at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre's in there. When Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar are both locked eyes, Ricochet low blows him from the back, and that sets up for Drew McIntyre to get him out. The crowd was hyped.
He hit a Claymore, and that sent Brock Lesnar out of the match.
Yeah. It was crazy.
And I think immediately everybody knew at that point, all right, we see who's going to win this match.
Yeah.
We see who's going to win this match.
Yeah.
We see what the seeds they're planting.
Because after that, Drew McIntyre, of course, eliminates Ricochet and all this stuff, but he would not take his eyes off of Brock Lesnar.
Because he knew it.
And that's one of those times you actually saw fear in Brock Lesnar's eyes.
He's like, okay. Yeah. This guy means business.
Then we finally see AJ Styles. We see Dolph Ziggler, Carl Anderson. After those three guys, we see the biggest return.
Bro, you got to understand.
In history.
You got to understand.
9 years.
You got to understand.
No one thought he would return.
I was there. I watched it on TV. I remember where I was at. I remember crying watching Edge retire.
He was your favorite superstar.
He was one of my favorites. He was so cool. And then I remember watching this match and nobody knew it. They kept this so secret, which is so hard to do nowadays.
Yeah.
And when his music hit, dude, I jumped out of my chair. That crowd went nuts.
There's a reason why I thought this return was better than CM Punk's.
It's right up there. Those two are really neck and neck.
I feel like CM Punk's would have been a little higher if CM Punk's wasn't predicted by
so many people
on social media and whatever.
Yeah, nobody expected Edge to come back.
We were just like,
it was another entrance. They were like, I guess it could be some of a surprise, but we don't know for sure. And then when that music hit, no one expected it to be him.
People were just thinking, it's probably going to be like Kevin Owens or someone we actually could expect be in the Rumble. But no, it was crazy.
Edge. And then you saw almost tears in his eyes. You saw that look on his face where, he had worked so hard to get back.
And you could tell he was so ready to come back because it wasn't even...
He looked good. Man, He looked good.
The music wasn't even starting to play yet. It was just it was just the girl saying, "You think you know me?"
And that crowd
he was already out there hype, man.
Yeah, he was so ready.
Then we see King Corbin join. Edge eliminated AJ Styles. Matt Riddle joins, which is at the time like a big NXT guy. Mm-hmm. We saw so much potential in Matt Riddle, and then with all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
King Corbin eliminates Riddle though. Luke Gallows joins, which aids Carl Anderson. Yada yada yada. Big thing about this match was when Randy Orton got it.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Edge rated our tease.
Little tease because they rated RKO for that match that came in at WrestleMania.
Yep, and we thought we were gonna see them as friends, and then later in the match, Randy teased trying to backstab Edge, and Edge saw it coming, and Edge got him out for that.
Mm-hmm.
OC was eliminated. Roman Reigns joins, and like I said before, crowd absolutely hated Roman Reigns. Yeah, Kevin Owens joins. Aleister Black, a lot of potential for him.
Mm-hmm.
Samoa Joe joins, which probably one of the last few matches we saw Samoa Joe before COVID came, and that's when he left. Right?
No, he was there for a little while because he started going into the commentator position.
That's right.
I think he got injured, and they put him in commentators for a while.
I completely forgot about that.
He eventually went back to NXT for a bit, won the NXT championship, and then he left.
Yeah, he really downgraded, to be honest. I don't know why they moved him back down to NXT.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Samoa Joe had so much potential.
He was so good. He's one of the... he's been doing it for 20 plus years.
The last entrant was Seth Rollins with his Monday Night Messiah gig with Buddy,
which I feel like is a very
Murphy.
underrated gimmick.
Yeah,
I
liked it.
Monday Night Messiah.
Whenever he first started as like getting everyone around the ring, he just started roasting everybody. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, he was with Buddy Murphy and AOP. He sends Buddy Murphy and AOP to just wreck everybody, even though they weren't in the match.
Yeah.
But as they were wrecking people, Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe were all eliminated. And with that, they took the fight to AOP and Murphy, and they all left. So Seth Rollins is on his own.
On his own.
As soon as that point, Reigns, Orton, Edge, McIntyre all ganged up to eliminate Seth. So now we have 4 guys.
Down to 4.
Down to 4. Reigns, the person that everyone hated. No one wanted him to win. Randy Orton.
What?
Of course, people love Randy Orton. People love him. Edge.
What?
The biggest return of all time. People would love to see what we're going to do with him.
Yeah.
McIntyre.
What?
The man who eliminated Brock Lesnar, and everyone knew he was going to win.
The Scottish psychopath.
Yeah. This is at the time where, like, right after him and Dolph Ziggler were gone.
Yeah.
After that little feud. Edge eliminated Orton. Roman eliminated Edge. So it's McIntyre and Roman. McIntyre pulls off the victory. Crowd was hype.
They were so excited to see Drew McIntyre win
Yes.
this match.
I didn't expect him to win that. I wasn't thinking it was going to be.
This was the start. This was what really kicked it off. This was Drew's momentum swing.
Yeah, this is the reason I chose to match review this.
Yeah.
Because not only was this one of my favorite Royal Rumbles, but also, like, what if? This is a big what if moment. What if COVID didn't come? What if?
Could you imagine that WrestleMania? Drew would have finally. But if you think about it, we wouldn't have gotten the whole Drew never gets his WrestleMania moment story.
Just think about what if he did get his moment? What if CM Punk came back? What if Seth Rollins was never a World Heavyweight Champion? What if the World Heavyweight Championship never came to be?
Whoa, this guy's thinking.
Just think about it. Like,
this guy's thinking at another level.
There's so much what ifs right now.
There's a lot of what ifs. Lots of what ifs.
But yeah, maybe COVID turned out for the best when it comes to this.
In some cases. There's some blessings.
And then there's some where, like, this sucks.
There were some. COVID was kind of a hit and miss at times when it comes to storylines.
Some stories, like, at the time it sucked, but then later it's good.
Yeah.
McIntyre in that case.
Yeah. McIntyre carried the pandemic era. You got to give him credit. He held down the fort. And
we had the bloodline stuff finally pop off as well. So that was a good thing.
The tribal chief.
Yeah. And then matches like McIntyre and Brock Lesnar sucked. But yeah, I feel like there's some good, there's some bad, mostly bad. Yeah. Otis winning the Money in the Bank was not a good one.
Yeah, that was rough. That Money in the Bank year was weird.
They like had to go to the top of the building and then
and then Asuka won it. But then this was when Becky Lynch, I think, got pregnant. So they kind of just gave it to her. So there was no real cash-ins until Otis lost the briefcase to The Miz later.
Which is very silly.
Yeah, and then Miz won it just so that they could get the title. Miz was 100% a transferable champion. It was just so they could get the title to Bobby Lashley so that they could set up Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at Mania. Yeah,
that decision was almost as silly as giving Austin Theory the Money in the Bank just to cash it on a United States Championship.
That
was silly.
I've never understood why anybody would cash in a Money in the Bank on anything other than a world title.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
And also, Austin Theory is on the rise at this time. He was like the next big
because they had him with Vince.
Yeah.
Pushing him.
And then Triple H came in and he was like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
But overall, good Rumbles.
Good Rumbles. Very good Rumbles.
More on the men's side, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the women's was...
It was very good.
With Shayna Baszler stuff, I like talking about that.
Yeah. She was killing it that Rumble.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else we missed doing this?
I think we hit everything. I'll give my matches.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I thought we'd take it back to some NXT.
Okay.
You know I'm a big Adam Cole fan.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do some Adam Cole matches.
I love Adam Cole.
We're going to do when we had the inaugural NXT North American Championship match.
Okay.
It's a ladder match. Adam Cole, the inaugural North American champion. We're going to do that one. Then we're going to do when he won the NXT Championship.
Okay.
So we're going to do, I believe it was against Johnny Gargano. So this is the one where he won it. And I don't remember exactly which event it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but do some research, viewers, and then I'll let you know. And then the last one, let's do in honor of Pat McAfee leaving WWE for right now, going to College Game Day. Let's do Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee.
I like it.